I saw an amazing video today. I don't know if you saw this. A 40-year-old Japanese man named Daasuke was live streaming a game of Minecraft, and he took a break to show off his new oil match lighter. Now, there are a lot of things wrong with what I just said. Firstly, playing Minecraft at 40. Secondly, like, that's embarrassing in itself. Live streaming it, even worse, but then showing off your new oil match lighter, which is something I don't even know what an oil match lighter is. Do you?
I've never heard of it. Sounds unnecessary.
Yeah, it sounds completely unnecessary. But he's streaming this, and this video, we saw it's so good, OK? And here he is lighting his new oil match thing, and immediately the box of oil matches flare up. Right, so there he is. So he's in a bit of a spot of bother. The oil match has flared up, and in his hand he has a lit match, and he's dealing with the fire here. Now, Reg, what would you do in that position?
I would try to stamp it out.
You'd go for a stomp out on the thing,
yep.
And the lit match you would
either throw it in my mouth or try to shake it out.
Or you'd go full Taylor Swift and you'd shake it off. Right, that's what we'd all do. Not our man Daasuke. This is the choice he makes. So here he is here, he's got the phone, right. He has dropped the match onto a bag of tissues. A lit flame on a bag of tissues, but all this time he's trying to put out the other fire, right? He is oblivious to this fire right now that's raging behind him. Now he can feel something. Daasuke, that's it. So, OK, now stop that, right, so there. He's put what can only be described as a thimble of water onto the fire, and he's picked up the fire inside the trash can. What would you do then, Reggie?
I'd place a flat object on top of the trash can to snuff it out.
Well, but what would that object be made of?
Paper.
Right, well, I mean, don't do that. That's almost worse than what Daasuke's about to do. Hagar, what would you do in such a situation?
Could he throw it out the window?
Right, I shouldn't have asked the band. This is an absolute disaster. No, right. Now, not that I've had experience with a lit, you know, packet of tissues next to a computer, because I've never got any tissues left. But what he... Not like that. I had a cold. Now, Daasuke chooses what he should do is remove that trash can, take it outside, maybe lay a wet towel over it, something like that. Not our man Daasuke. He takes the bin, bag of fire, and he places it in amongst his cardboard boxes underneath his wooden cabinet, right? Wooden cabinets, and that's right, put it out with another cardboard box. But yeah, he's immediately seen the error of his ways, and he tries to put the fire out with, that's it, yeah. That's what you want to do, Daasuke. Fan the flames with some more cardboard. So, he's left the room. What do we think he's gone to do? Tim, what would you do in such a situation?
I would stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll? OK, you are all useless in the event of a fire. That's what you say. What you should do at this point is, firstly, call the emergency services. Secondly, get a wet towel or a wet blanket and lay that over the fire. Not Daasuke. We've had to speed this up because he left the fire raging for, like, 2 minutes. Look how big that flame is now. This is... Even now, a wet blanket's not going to help. Here he comes. And, I mean... He might as well have thrown a bowl of fire on the fire. Like, look, now, just chuck that in the fire. There you go. Leave the plastic. Look, that's the second bowl of water. He's disappeared. He's sticking with the water thing. He leaves, and we never see him again. The good news for Daasuke, right, is that he made it out of the house safely, and even more amazingly, he has done the thing I never thought would happen. He has made me a fan of live streaming.